Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back, guys. This is Kwame with KP Media, and I just want to wish each and every one of you a very happy new year. So we're back again with another video, and today, guys, I'm gonna do just a recap of my year in 2025. Right, we're just gonna walk through how my 2025 was, and do some breakdowns of certain things that I learned, certain things that I know definitely I'm not gonna repeat this year, and some of the things that came into my life as a director cinematographer in Toronto. So one of my New Year resolutions for 2025 was I wanted to really build a network of connections with people that I can get to really work with, because before 2025, like, I've been on other productions, I've been on other sets, but I've not really had a chance to really get a chance to be on bigger productions. So I started to prepare myself right around the end of 2024 to find ways and means that I can get myself on set. So luckily for me, I was able to reach out to a couple people that I knew around Toronto that I've seen them working. I reached out to them on social media. I was like, hey, this and that. I'm still new in the industry. I'm trying to, get my footing in. I'm there to, if you need me to come and even PA for you, do whatever that you need me to come and do. I'm there to, work, because I needed to really get the experience and also get the chance to, learn and also build the connection, because the connection was something that I was really lacking. And social media, especially Instagram, was the best place for me. So I was able to reach out to certain people, and luckily for me, I was able to get one person that kind of like laid the opportunity for me, where she was like, okay, cool, we are working on a short film, and if you want, you can come and be a PA on this production for me. I definitely didn't say no to that, because I mean, what else can I do? At that point, I didn't really know much, and I didn't really have a lot of connections. So I was ready to, get it going. If I have to be a PA on productions, I was ready to do it, because I mean, it's better to be a PA than just to sit at home trying to figure things out. And boy, oh boy, when I hopped on that production, it was one of the best learning experience that I got to experience, because before that production, I thought I knew my way around being on set, but that production really did teach me a lot, right? It was a 3-day production. It was a short film. I started off as just an art PA. They needed an art PA. I started off on that as an art PA. Then whilst I was doing that, I started to kind of like lean more towards the camera department, because I kind of like had some experience with camera. So I was talking to the camera guys, and then I think they requested that I come and swing for them. So I was swinging between camera and an the art department, where I was kind of like bouncing back here and there, bouncing back there. And I used that opportunity to kind of like learn more, ask the guys that I was working with, like, how is the industry like, how do they see things, how are they able to navigate the film industry, how are things for them. And I was able to get all those questions. And from that production, I think the DP really liked me, and then he was also working on another project. I think 2 or 3 weeks after that, I reached out to the DP, and he's like, hey, do you want to come and grip for me? And then I was able to kind of get myself on another production, literally I think 2 or 3 weeks from that production. So it was from that point that I think everything kind of like a snowball effect, where I was able to kind of like get myself on certain productions. I was reaching out to people a lot. That was how 2025 was like, especially the early stages of 2025. I was really concerned about building the network with people. So I was reaching out with people, and I think luckily I got like about 2-3 people that they were able to invite me on their productions. Started rolling from there, where I'll go on a production, I'll meet someone there, I'll kind of like befriend them genuinely, not because I need something from them, but I'll befriend them, talk to them, exchange Instagrams, and then sometimes, luckily for me, they get to invite me to a production that they are working on. So I started off as an art PA last year, did art, being doing PA stuff, and then I started kind of like being a swing, because I was still very. It's so funny that I really thought that I knew a lot when when I was coming in, but the more I was on set, the more I realized I didn't know a lot, right? So I started off as a PA. I started doing a couple of swing stuff. I swinged a lot last year, and then from swing, I kind of like grew into being a grip. Right, so I think I gripped for a lot of productions. I was gripping for commercials, I was gripping for music videos, I was gripping for short films a lot, right? So I was a grip for that, and with that aspect, I was really getting the chance to see how set life really is, right? Being the grip, I was able to kind of like get close to people, get close to DPs, ask them certain questions, and then all that. Because I really wanted to really learn the ins and outs of productions, especially in the camera departments, right? That was something that was very important to me. I wanted to really see the in and outs and stuff. So I started gripping, and then with gripping, I started to kind of also graduate from gripping to being a golfer. And then that is something that I really did enjoy doing, which I was not expecting to really enjoy that much. Golfing is something that after I was really doing it, I was like, okay, I think I found something that I really like. Right. I like gripping here and there, but I think I really enjoyed golfing a lot. Right. So I found myself golfing throughout the whole of the year, doing certain productions. And I was lucky enough, there was another big production. I think like it was one of the biggest productions that I was on last year, where they needed a second AC. And what we tell you guys, I've never even AC'd before. So they reached out to me that, hey, we need a second AC to work on this short film. It was like, not even a short film, it was a feature film that we're shooting. And they were like, we need a second AC. I was like, okay, sign me up. So I remember I came home watching YouTube videos, trying to figure out what a second AC does on set and all those kind of stuff. And I was able to do that. I remember my first day on set, I didn't even know how to clap a slate, like, do a slate, how to write on the slate board, the right ways to go about it. I was lucky enough, shout out to my friend Tony, amazing AC in Toronto. He was very, very, very calm with me. He taught me most of the things that I needed to know. He was like, okay, how to properly do slate stuff, how to properly, the right ways to go about it. I remember when I was slating, I was horrible at slating. There was this gaffer on set. Her name was Galen. She pushed me aside. She was like, hey, bro, this is how you do a proper slate. So it's like, that's one thing I like about working in the film industry, where it's like, people are very nice and people can be very nice to you. If they see that you're doing something wrong, they will just approach you and then they will just teach you the right ways to do it. People are always in the right head to want to teach. So if you are very open to wanting to learn, they will be always ready to teach you. So within that production, once I began doing a second AC on that production, boy, oh boy, it was like, that was all that I was doing afterwards. I was just, especially during the summertime last year, you see me, all that I was doing was just being a second AC. I'll be a second AC plus a DIT, second AC plus a DIT, second AC plus a DIT, second AC plus a DIT. Right. And I'll be golfing here and then. And that was kind of like how my year was going in 2025. Right. I started off as just a PA and I was just swinging. And then I was just kind of like, making my way around golfing a little bit. Then I found myself, especially working in the assistant camera department, where I was a second AC. And then from being a second AC, I was like, okay, I got opportunity to be a first AC. That was something I've never done before. I knew I could do it, but I was a little bit scared. So I had a buddy of mine that I first AC'd on his project. I second AC'd for him, and then they were kind of doing a reshoot, and then they needed they needed a first AC. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take this opportunity to kind of like step up and learn, use this opportunity to I know it was like nerve-wracking. I was like, you know what, I'll step in. And I was able to step in as a first AC on that short film. So I went from a guy that didn't really know what he was doing to finding his way from being a PA to being a first AC, all within a span of like 1 year. And it was a lot, especially being a first AC. It was like, it comes with a lot of responsibilities that sometimes there were moments where I think I bit more than I could chew, but I was able to kind of like navigate through it, see how it ways and means that I could be a proper first AC. And I ended up being a first AC to a lot last year. So last year there were 3 roles that I was doing mostly last year. I was being first AC, second AC, and a gaffer. Right? Those were the 3 major roles that I got a chance to really do a lot last year, where I was just doing it. Somehow we said, okay, so was I working on only short films? No, I was not really working on only short films. I I got a chance to be on a lot of commercials actually, which was a really big learning experience, especially being on a bigger budget commercials. How you see productions are being navigated in the commercial space. I really did enjoy working on the commercial space. I'm not going to lie, commercial space is a little bit different from working in the narrative field. It comes with its own ins and outs. Commercials are a little bit fast paced, but at the same time, too, it's one of the best sets to also be around because of like how it can be fast paced but also very chill, right? So I worked on short films. I worked on a lot of commercials, music videos. I did a lot of like skates where I was just navigating. So music videos, documentaries. Yeah, I worked on a lot of documentaries too. So it's like the three major roles I was doing mostly was being a first AC, second AC, and then a gaffer. Right. And I think right now I can mostly say I have, you know, some points and some credits being a first, second, or a gaffer over there. 2025 was, for me, it was a really big learning experience for me, right? As I previously said in the beginning of the video, like all that I wanted to do was to network as much as possible, right? So I was more concerned about networking and finding myself on set as much as possible. And I was able to do that. I think it got to a point, especially the summertime, that I was so busy. I went from the guy that didn't even know who to talk to or who to message to find himself on set, to finally like being so busy that I was going from back to back, back to back. Even the whole of 2025, honestly speaking, if I'm being real, I was not expecting to get paid, right? Because all that I wanted to do was to get to network, right? But I'm going to be real that most of the projects that I went on, about 95% of them, I was getting paid to be on those productions. I thought myself that okay, I'm still new, I'm still learning, I still have a lot to go. So anybody that would just find have me on set, I'm willing to take it, right? I was not expecting to have that much growth, especially in a span of 1 year. I was expecting to just be kind of like being a PA here and there to kind of like find my way around set life, but it didn't go like that. It went from being a PA to 1, 2, 3. I'm finding myself being a grip, and then I'm gaffing, and then I'm like a second AC and a first AC, and I'm just bouncing. Even there were moments where I was even a camera operator, right? There were a lot of moments where I was not the DP, but I was just the camera operator for the DP, right? So it was a big, fantastic year for me. One of the most fruitful year that I've gotten the chance to experience in my life. I made a decision in 2024 that I was going to give this a try. I was going to try and really go all out in my career and really build myself up and see where I can go with. And it has made me also really excited for the future, right? I did learn a lot in 2025, especially seeing how productions are being run, seeing how things are done in the industry. It comes with a lot of pressure. I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of pressure. It's not an industry for jokes. Like one mistake, if you mess up, it can be like you don't want to get blacklisted. There are so many moments, but I was fortunate to find myself around people that were willing to teach me. Right? I was fortunate to find myself with people that were very calm. They knew that I was new in the industry, and then they were very open to teach me, and then they were not like trying to be an asshole to me or trying to be a dick to me, right? They were all very open, taught me a lot. I met really, really amazing people, and it has really got me really excited for the future. So for a quick summary, I started off the year just kind of like navigating, trying to find myself on set, to graduating from being a PA to being a swing, to being a to working being a grip on productions, and then I started graduating to being a gaffer, and then being a second AC and then a first AC, and I was just kind of like bouncing from those three roles all year. That was all that I was doing last year, bouncing from those two, especially when I found myself between a first, second, and a gaffer. Those were the roles that it kind of like really stick with me, and I was like, okay, I think I found the places that really work for me. Some of the things that maybe I'm looking forward to this year is getting to DP for projects, right? Most projects that I was working on last year, I was working on other people's projects. So I'm just hoping that, especially this year, I get to be the DP. I got the chance to work under a lot of DPs last year, and I feel like I've learned a lot. I'm still learning, and I'm really hoping that at least this year I get to really DP projects, especially get to DP short films, commercials, and stuff. So that is something that I'm really looking forward to, especially looking at the trajectory of the growth that I had last year. I'm having my fingers crossed that I get to step on the DP role a lot this year. I know I may not have like a lot of stuff to show, like, because being a DP, you need to have like a lot of stuff for people to be able to give you work. But I'm hoping that this year I'll get a chance to at least DP one or two short films to kind of like start building it from there. I loved being what do you call it, first, second, and third, but the plan is to be a DP. So I'm really looking forward to getting a chance to maybe DP on people's projects and all that. So this was my journey in 2025, deciding to work fully. I wouldn't say I'm a full-time person that works in the film industry. I wouldn't say that I work there full-time, but I was able to make enough money that, still help pay the bills and stuff. I'm not doing it full-time. I still have my full-time job that I do. But luckily for me, I have a job that is really flexible, that I can always be on set if I need to. So it really did help. It's one of the things that I'm very happy about, that I have that much flexibility. Hopefully this year I get to get more time to spend more time on set and grow and learn. I'm really excited for 2025, and I hope to also bring you guys more videos, more exciting stuff coming this year. So see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.